Hi, Beck Mack here for Pops Art, and I am at Quag Goma because today is the first day the gallery is truly open to a new exhibition, and it is Motorcycle Design, Art and Desire. And I'm with the curator here. Hello, what's your name?
Samantha Litley, Curator of Australian Art here at Quad Goma.
Fantastic. Now, this is such an exciting exhibition for a lot of people, and motorcycles are something that is a part of our an innate part of our culture. We do reference them ourselves personally every day. So, can you tell us about how this exhibition ended up in the art gallery?
So yeah, obviously the motorcycle is very popular in culture, and a lot of people like motorcycles that you wouldn't normally necessarily expect. But we wanted to expand the exhibition experience out. It was important for Goma to include art as well as the motorcycles themselves. Yes. So this exhibition here, which is a little satellite show that we've curated, full face artists' helmets, is a way of bringing in sort of socio-political discussion and art into the experience.
Now, these helmets are fantastic, and as you mentioned before, they are like art objects of desire in their own right before you actually hand them over to an artist. But can you just talk through that process of how you engage the artists and what the thoughts behind it were?
Yeah, so the starting point was that the helmet was a very interesting sculptural object in its own right, and many artists have worked with it previously, people like Henry Moore and obviously more contemporarily Patricia Piccinini. But what we wanted to do was to send the helmets out to 15 contemporary Australian artists and ask them to individualise the helmet to respond to it in whichever way they saw fit.
What a treat for an artist to be given that opportunity, because and I guess it's also that thing about masks as well. Like it is such a timely moment to be doing work about masks, even though they're helmets. Now, you also worked with a number of local artists, which we will talk about, but this one particularly is quite startling. Bucket for a blood supply. I'm terrified.
That's probably great. Ex Medici, who's the artist, would be very happy that you were terrified, but also engaged by the ideas. So Ex Medici has been an official war artist, so she's well versed in the role that the helmet serves as a protective device. And in this case, she's also used helmets a lot in her watercolours because it stands in for the skull, which is a little bit overused. So she's taken the helmet into her practice from that reason. Yeah. And she's chosen to hone in on the idea of the helmet as this kind of the object that contains the brain, protects it ideally, but in worst case scenarios contains its remains. Yeah. And as you can see, she's gone into quite a lot of detail, to kind of create that feeling. Yeah. And you know, the way she's painted the brown at the base of it, you know, almost like the brain hovers in this space within the cabinet.
It's absolutely beautiful, actually, the detail and the rhythm and the rhyme, and just captures the brain in such a startling way. Now let's talk about the local artists, because that's really important to that the Quag Goma does have a relationship with our own artists. So, and it's fabulous they could be part of this exhibition. Can you talk through maybe this piece?
Sure. We really wanted to make sure that we represented as many people as possible in the show, and as you say, we do have a number of local artists in the exhibition. One of them is Eric Bridgman, who's be well known to Brisbane audiences and also around Australia. For a number of years, Eric's been working with family and friends from Papua New Guinea, and he's done that with this helmet, in fact, because he's worked with his cousin Alison Well. So Alison has created the billum that goes over the top of the helmet, and Eric has painted the helmet itself. The helmet, the painting on the helmet mirrors the patterns that on the hair and the head. So again, it's a reference to the head, as X's is. This one's called Giblin, or head in Papua New Guinea, and it's Giblin. Just transforms it, and that's what I think.
I love this one, and I particularly love the mask part. Like, it's beautiful.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting what you were saying about no one's really honed on the idea of the mask as such, but this probably is the one that gets closest to that and really transforms it. A number of artists have added objects to their work and just extended it and transformed it from a regular three-dimensional object into something quite different.
Yeah, and I know Eric's work and the way that he works with his family, so it's great that that's his process, isn't it, to engage the family to work on the work.
Collaborative kind of process, and I love the way Alison was invited into the project. Unfortunately, she won't be here tonight for the opening, but I'm really glad that she could be represented in the exhibition. Yeah.
No one's here for the opening because even the main curators couldn't make it. Now here's another local artist, Callum McGrath, Roadhead. Do you want to give us a little info?
So Callum's an emerging artist from Brisbane, and his work that relates to queer culture and homophobia in some instances. In this case, he's decided to riff on a couple of other queer artists, David McDiarmid, the late David McDiarmid, and also Juan de Villa. So he's really playing on words with the motorsexual homocycle. And
That's really good. Motorsexual, homocycle. I love it.
I have to say, I absolutely love sparkly things, so the rhinestones do it for me.
I actually want that. That's hot.
The work's called Roadhead, and it sort of explores queer subcultures associated with the motorcycle.
And he already has themes of, well, trucks and that sort of motor vehicle through his work. So I can see how he could easily thread into this piece.
Yeah, we did try when we were thinking about who we'd like to invite to participate. You know, we were looking at points of connection, and as you say, that's one of them in this case.
And finally, I don't want to give them all away because we want people to come and have a look. This is an incredible piece by Archie Moore. Can you tell us quickly about this?
So Archie's, you know, he's a really thoughtful artist, and I think he was perhaps a bit puzzled when I first asked him to participate. But then he actually remembered his Uncle Gary, and Uncle Gary used to ride his motorcycles out to Woomba and build his own bikes from scrap pieces because he didn't have a lot of money. And he used to also create these helmets with the horns on it that Archie wore as a child. So what he's done here, he's recreated a helmet in that mode, and it's really a homage to Uncle Gary, and it's a terrific work. It's probably, well, I'd hate to have favourites, but I really, really like this work.
It's okay. I think it might be my favourite too. Sorry, I never said that, but I love that. And I actually want to wear that one too. I want all of them. What a great new fashion idea.
It is that you can't wear them anymore because they've been individualised. Anytime you add something to the surface of a helmet, it becomes, you can't wear it as a safety device. And the other thing is,
Just talking about going out shopping.
they're too small actually because we didn't actually choose them to be worn. So the artists have, a couple of them have got back to me and said, I can't fit it on my head. It's like, well, yeah, you're kind of not supposed to. It's an artwork. Anyway, no, we've been really blown away by the enthusiasm that artists have brought to this project. We're really thrilled.
I love it, and I think visitors will absolutely adore this the whole exhibition. But this particularly is very inviting and engaging and beautiful. So thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Beck. Lovely to meet you.
You too.